Good morning and welcome to the Red Mic. These Red Mic messages are leadership and life lessons I've picked up from 25 years as a public servant, 16 years as a youth football coach and scouting volunteer, and 10 years as a mediocre athlete with far more heart than actual physical ability. Today's Red Mic message, though, is another remembrance. Yesterday I talked about James Earl Jones. Today it's 9/11. You cannot pass this day without remembering where you were 23 years ago today, um, reflecting on everything that's happened since. I was at my office watching, had the Today Show on, droning on in the background. I was preparing for my day of work and had just dropped my older child off at school, and uh, we were gearing up for a doctor's appointment that day. My wife was supposed to be induced on 9/11. Now, of course, after everything that happened, we said, "Yeah, that's not happening today. No, no, we are. If he is born naturally on this day, great, but we're not going to on purpose give him this birthday. And frankly, we don't want to be at a hospital when you know people may need to come in and give blood, or at that point we didn't even know there could be more attacks later in the day. We just knew that as Americans that our nation, our ideals, our way of life, who we are as a people was attacked that day. About 3,000 people died in the attacks, and whether they died at the World Trade Center, the Pentagon, or in that field in Pennsylvania where the plane went down, when the passengers rose up and said, "Yeah, you're not going to blow up a building. We've heard about the others, and not on our watch." We hear the phrase "never forget," and we vow to remember the victims and honor their memory. And for a lot of us, yeah, there's still feelings of anger and frustration and a desire for justice. My parents both talked about how they remembered where they were when they heard that JFK had been shot and killed in Dallas. And I think, for a lot of people, 9/11 is going to be that way. Of course, we remember where we were and what we were doing and what we were thinking on 9/11. I would like everyone to challenge themselves to think about 9/12. Think about the day after. Think about the days after. Think about 9/12 when our Congress, regardless of their party affiliation, came together. Think about in the days following when those lawmakers who just a few days earlier were, metaphorically at each other's throats, they came together and they sang the national anthem together. Um, think about the pride that so many of us felt when the president, George W. Bush, threw a strike, throwing out the first pitch at a Yankees game in New York, the city that was the primary focus of the attacks. In the immediate aftermath of 9/11, we were united in both our grief but also our resilience. We, again, we were in grief. We were angry. We were scared. We were all of those things. But we came together, but it didn't last. I mean, in just a year or two, we were divided over Iraq and Afghanistan and the role of government and the meaning of patriotism. And of course, as time has gone by, 2008, 2009-ish, when social media started to expand and get so ubiquitous in our lives, social media and the increasing polarization of politics certainly didn't help. I want to remember 9/11, but I also want to remember the feelings behind that. I want to remember 9/12 and the feelings behind that. We as Americans need to actively work to preserve our way of life. We need to try to figure out a way to come to a common ground on what that way of life actually means. And that means living up to the challenges of the Constitution, the challenges of the Bill of Rights and all the amendments and the national anthem and the Pledge of Allegiance and the Declaration of Independence. We need to live up to all of our founding documents and all of the foundational documents and foundational ideals that are supposed to unite us. I agree. One of the candidates last night in the debate, talked about how we do have more in common than what divides us. I really want to believe that. I really do. But we actually have to mean that and not just pay lip service to it. So my challenge to you today, and I'm sorry that this is a downer, but my challenge to you today is, as you reflect on the anniversary of 9/11, as you go through your daily life today and every day forward, try to recommit yourself to the ideals of unity and compassion and resilience that we felt not only on 9/11, but on 9/12 and in the days and the weeks, months following the attacks on who we are as a people. Let's try to live up to that. That's today's Red Mike message. I hope you found it helpful. I hope it gave you something to think about. I hope you'll join me again tomorrow. I am humbly asking that you give me a like, a follow, and a share. If you like what I said, great. If you think I need to do something else, tell me in the comments. I really want to get some feedback. But again, please give me a like, a follow, and a share. I'll be back on business stuff again tomorrow, I promise. A couple days in a row where I haven't been talking about the leadership and life lessons, but I felt like the last 2 days were important. So I hope you will give me another shot, and I promise not to be maudlin tomorrow. I'll even try to work some jokes or some pop culture into it. What do you say about that? I'll see you later. Y'all have a good day, and don't forget, life is short. Drink the bourbon.